This has been a good week. We had roll call had brought in one of the last remaining Tuskegee Airmen from World War II, Dr. Eugene Richardson, and his wife Helen. Uh, they spoke at roll call, the monthly Veterans Luncheon on Friday. On Tuesday of this week, Mary Staffeld and I were the co host of Hometown Heroes, and we broadcast our podcast from Larry O'Neill's Fort Worth Memories Museum. And Larry is so gracious to host Hometown Heroes. And we had Dr. Richardson and also talked to Helen on Hometown Heroes. And before we started the podcast, Carlos Flores, City Council Member, District 2 in Fort Worth, on behalf of the City of Fort Worth and Mayor Parker, he read a proclamation. It was a certificate of recognition, and he read that certificate welcoming Dr. Richardson to Fort Worth and thanking him for his service as a Tuskegee Airman. There were some local businessmen in the area that came by to greet Dr. Richardson and have their pictures made with him. And then we had our podcast where Dr. Richardson and his wife, also Dr. Richardson, she's got a doctorate degree also. They told us a lot of history about the Tuskegee Airmen, World War II, about all the discrimination the African American service men and women faced before and even during the time of the Tuskegee Airmen. Our government said that that black people couldn't fly, they weren't capable of doing things like that. But the Tuskegee Airmen proved them wrong and became some of the most recognized fighter pilots and fighter escorts for our bombers in World War II as they were bombing in Europe. And they saved a lot of the air crew's life because of their flying abilities and their dedication to fight for America. And Dr. Richardson, after he got out of the military, he started working on his education and became an educator. So he is at home teaching. On Tuesday, that was on Tuesday, Hometown Heroes. On Wednesday, we took him to the Hope Farm. Hope Farm is an organization based in South Fort Worth, and it takes at-risk young men or young boys from about the age of 6 all the way through high school. They've got a fantastic program, and most of these young men, their fathers are not in their life. They're either incarcerated or dead or just don't have anything to do with their sons. And so Hope Farm has this program. It's an after-school program, weekend program. Right now they're having their summer program, but I've been around these young men several times this year, and it's just a breath of fresh air to see those young men. And Dr. Richardson was completely at home with these young men as he told them about being a Tuskegee Airman, and his wife Helen, Dr. Helen Richardson, she talked too, and really brought the point home that Dr. Richardson had made about having a dream and being able to fulfill that dream and being able to become what you desire to become. And it was a great day. Dr. Richardson is one of the kindest people I've ever met. And whenever you talk to him and he engages with you, I mean, he is totally focused. It's not like some people you can just start talking to and all they want to do is talk or look away or think about other stuff, or they're distracted, or you could just tell that they aren't there. But Dr. Richardson, it didn't matter who was talking to him, he was engaged with them. And then Hope Farm, some of their faculty, took us on a tour of the classrooms, and they even have a podcast studio there. But we went to each classroom, and Eugene, Dr. Richardson, and Helen, they were just so amazed at all the things and all the programs that Hope Farm does. So that was just a really good morning at Hope Farm. On Thursday, Captain Mark McLean, the skipper or the commander of NAS JRB Fort Worth, invited Dr. Richardson to speak at the base theater for Thursday afternoon. There was a good crowd there of a lot of military, active duty military and reservists, and support people, and then just people that just wanted to come and learn more about the Tuskegee Airmen and all the pitfalls and all the discrimination they suffered. And then in that presentation, Dr. Richardson showed us example after example of great Navy aviators through the years, astronauts and aviators that are African American that have done well in the military. You know, the general officers and the admirals, and it's just remarkable to hear Dr. Richardson tell the story of how the Tuskegee Airmen changed race relations in our country. And even after the war, President Harry Truman, made a law that, that there was no longer segregation in our military, because used to it was segregated. So the Tuskegee Airmen laid the foundation for a lot of great things that have come about because of them. And then on Friday, Dr. Richardson came to roll call, the monthly Veterans Luncheon, and gave a great talk and spent a lot of time after his talk talking to individuals, having their pictures made with him, and he's just such a fine fellow. And that was by far one of the greatest roll call meetings I think I've been to. We ended it. We always end the roll call meeting with the songs from the different services, from the Army, Air Force, Coast Guard, Navy, and the Marines. I don't know if Space Force has a song yet, but whenever they do that, then those members that served in whatever branch the song's playing stand up and we recognize them. But before that, during the program, our good friend Brad Thompson, he's a great musician, and he's also lives in my neighborhood, but he plays "God Bless the USA," the Lee Greenwood song, and it just sends chills up your spine whenever he starts playing that, and you see these veterans. I'm proud to be an American, and it's just a great time. So that was just a real great week to have one of the last Tuskegee Airmen, Dr. Eugene Richardson in Fort Worth. And on behalf of Roll Call, we want to thank our friends, Randy Stillinger and the staff at American Airlines for providing the flight and the air miles for Dr. Richardson and his wife, Helen, to come to Fort Worth and to take them safely home. So thank you, American Airlines. I want to remind everybody that October the 15th, Roll Call, the monthly Veterans Luncheon, we have a benefit clay shoot at Defenders Outdoors. And you can go to our website, roll-call.org, and find out more about how you can participate in the clay shoot or how you can be a sponsor. We'd like to have as many of our local businesses as we can. They're sponsoring our clay shoot, because Roll Call, we have 450 plus every month. These are a lot of local people that live on the west side of Fort Worth, and we have a lot of businesses. There's a lot of businesses that have that benefit from doing business with these men and women that have served our country. So don't forget the clay shoot, and as always, you can go to Roll-Call, and just a $10 donation every month will provide one veteran lunch. And there's nothing, it's just a strange deal for non-veterans to understand the camaraderie that there is whenever veterans get together. So look us up on the World Wide Web at roll-call.org, and we look forward to seeing you next week on Hometown Heroes.